to really bring attention to these pictures. One is the freight wagons, and the other is the freight truck. And you've spanned our history in freighting in the Caribou. And I think these belong together and should be framed together, Jim. I think that they say so much about the prosperity and the activities that brought most of us to the Caribou.
Oh, absolutely. Caribou Wagon Road. They were drawn by oxen as well as horses. Stage line and everything else ran all through this country, and that was the way to get to and from. And the history of that road is amazing.
70 Mile House used to have how many mills?
70 Mile itself, Comores, Wayne Nyman, on the old Caribou Wagon Road south of town here. And then Clinton Sawmills a little bit further away, and all of the bush mills that worked in the area, I couldn't even venture a guess on how many, because they stretched from out Gang Ranch across the river, Empire Valley, all kinds of portable mills out there, and along the roads, all the way through Dog Creek, Meadow Lake Road, Big Bar Lake Road, Caribou Wagon Road south of town here. There were the early days, 40s and 50s. There was portable mills all through side roads from the old road. And I've explored most of them when we lived at the Chasm, and a lot of them, there's not much evidence now. There's still some old sites where the cabins were burned, but that was an industry that built this country.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Jim, it just occurred to me, do you know anything about the soda works?
I explored the one on Big Bar Road. Meadow Lake Road. I've driven out there, and the tower on one of them was still standing. The buildings were all gone, and you could see where the great big that they put the salt in the winter in there to dry them and then ship that. There was one right close to Clinton, just south of town, that great big soda lake before you get to the rodeo ground. Yeah. There is a photograph in the museum in Clinton of the building, people working, piling those big blocks of soda to ship to the coast.
Mm-hmm. And what was it used for?
I'm not exactly sure what the actual use was, for cleaning maybe or something.
Possibly. Somebody told me it had something to do with munitions during the war.
Oh, that's possible too. Yeah, that lake just south of town at one time was pure potable water. Oh. And over the years it leached. Mm-hmm. All the little lakes like that all through the area. That's what happened. North of 70 Mile, you go past Cunningham Corral on the right-hand side there. You can go back to the railroad, and right there's another one on the other side of the railroad.
Found that one.
Yeah. There used to be a cabin there, but the barn is still standing. The last time I was through there, whether the fires burned it or not, I don't know. But you need a four-wheel drive to get over the rocks and stuff. Oh, yeah. And we've done that too. Yeah, I love this country. And right from the first day that I ever moved up out of school, and ever since, I've been away a couple times through work, and even before I was married. Got married in 1966,
And was she from here? Or?
No, she was from Saskatchewan.
Oh, yeah.
She lived with my mother's sister. Both her parents had passed away. One bad one was her father accidentally shot in Saskatchewan. He was working for the village in Nipawin, and some young guys were out playing with a hunting rifle or something, and he was on the street working and accidentally shot and killed.
Wow.
Then her mother, 2 or 3 years or something, also was taken. And my wife had moved out to my aunt, because we all lived together around Kelowna, aunts and uncles and everything. Of my immediate family, I was the first one born in BC. The older boys were both born in Saskatchewan. So 1942, they moved from Saskatchewan to Penticton, where I was born. My other grandparents also lived in Penticton, my father's side of the family. And from there, we moved to Lumbee and elementary school, grade 3. We moved back to Kelowna. From there, Dad built a house and hauled the lumber from Nickel Plate Mine, tearing houses down in the mine, the little village there. And a construction company in Kelowna had the contract for removing everything. And the Serwa family, well known for construction all over the place. And my father, I still have a photograph, the negative, of an old Dodge truck, flat deck, loaded with lumber, tied down, and we came down off of the mountain, switchback after switchback. He would get part way around, because we were all 3 kid boys were with him, back up and then inch around and then get around, same thing on the next corner. And Dad built the house in Rutland, which is now Kelowna, and we lived there for years and years. My mother lived there right up until she had to go into a home. And Okanagan and up here, I enjoy this more, I think, than I ever did in the Okanagan, being young and naive and foolish and stuff like that.
I'm so glad you enjoyed this more than the Okanagan.
Well,
you raised your family here, didn't you?
Yeah, everyone, 4 kids born in Ashcroft, the Lady Minto Hospital, the original hospital, and the last one born was 1972, and that's the youngest daughter. And one of her sons just had another brand new baby, my 10th great grandkid.
Wow, I bet you are a great-great-grandfather, though.
I am a great-great-grandfather. And now with this oxygen and everything, my traveling, because some of them are in Alberta, a lot of them are in the Kootenays. There's a couple, there's one son still in Clinton with just him and his wife, but his 3 kids one's north and other 2 are in Kamloops, I believe. And then the next older is a son. He works in Princeton. He has a daughter in Kamloops, stepson in Lillooet, I believe, works for the Native housing and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
First Nations. His mother is First Nation, and she's a health nurse. And when her and my son were married, she would take airplane flight from Kamloops to Prince George and be stationed at Fort Ware. The only way in is airplane. And They were together for quite a few years. And the other son lives in Dawson Creek. And
They're spread out.
oh, yes, yeah. Well, go where the work is.
Yes, yeah, and I worked with a couple of your boys. They're good workers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Brian, he's the oldest one. He lives in Clinton, and he worked right up to the very end for West Fraser. And he did several jobs and had tickets on all of them. He's an electrician now, works in Ashcroft. His wife works in the credit union, assistant manager. And then the younger son, he also is an electrician at Princeton Mill. And he has been there for quite a few years. The older daughter lives in Kelowna. She's working with home refurbishing, remodeling fella, and she works with him. And she's got two sons who live in Fruitvale. Because when she was married, her and her husband built a house there and lived there for years and years, and things happened, so they're no longer together, but both boys, I've known them since they were just infants. The youngest daughter, Penny, she lives in Sundre, Alberta, and works in Olds.
Oh, yeah.
She's into people that are watching out businesses in different shifts with cameras too.
Oh, surveillance, yeah, security.
Security,
Yeah.
She's been doing
So, you tell me about your family, and I really have to think that you have done very well in this world.
I hope so. I like to think so.
You've had sporting and working and enjoying life and being an incredible artest.
Well, that was a hobby. It wasn't ever meant to be.
But it seems like you've done very, very well in this world.
Well, I hope so.
And
people realize that it's sometimes work, and it's such a joy to do stuff.
Mm-hmm. And we will take these recordings, and we will give you a copy so that your family has this.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I get emotional.
That's okay, Jim, and thank you so much. I'm so happy you did this.
You're very welcome. I enjoy meeting people and things like that. It's a joy for me as well.
Yes.
May not show it sometimes.